Welcome to the first installation of the new series This Deck Sucks, a name that is much catchier than This Deck is completely average at best and pales in comparison to any tiered strategy for those of you who are offended. Do you ever lie awake at night and think of all the uncharted Yugi's territory? What if there were pendulum traps? What if there were dark synchros? What if there was a deck, instead of you taking damage, your opponent takes it instead? Introducing Gustos, an archetype of Mystic Tomatoes and a level 6 synchro cards that makes any damage you would take in battle be inflicted on your opponent instead. Do you see the synergy? Yeah, admittedly it's pretty awful. I would much rather have pendulum traps. Anyway, this deck is built to go second. A lot of main deck hand traps and going second tools. Let's see what Edo Pro can offer us. Now, the problem with this archetype is that it is extremely fragile. Even the slightest interaction stops a deck in its tracks. Hell, I'm sure Mirror Force just wins you the game. But is it a funny win condition? Absolutely. If we are forced to go first, I have a wind barrier statue in the sideboard. I don't want to main deck it because it sucks opening in the hand. With a deck like this, you need as many playables in your starter as possible. Now, there are some interesting card choices here. Symphonic Warrior Guitar, why is it 2 A's? Synergizes well with Gusto Griffin, the unofficial member of the Griffin family, since it's one of the few cards with an if effect in the Gusto lineup. Mike's also allows for an extra normal summon, as does Rubber Band Shooter, the Speedroid Link monster. We're playing a Speedroid package, and while some of you could argue that this deck would be better with a Tri-Brigade engine, you're just wrong. Shh. Going second wave to get us Freeze, the card that enables a reverse battle damage loop, and paired with a small Gusto continuously floating while attacking into big monsters. Since this is a big going second strategy, we main deck Droll and Deity Crow. They're not only the most powerful cards in this format against decks like Drytron, Dino, and Virtual World, but Droll is a wind and Deity Crow is a winged beast. We also have Forbidden Droplet, which I think actually triggers Griffin. Droplets is very good at dealing with established boards and allowing us to attempt to do the combo. And starting off, we're up against Ancient Gear, a deck you'd think was meta if your only exposure to Yu-Gi-Oh! Was through the lens of what horrible things happen on Edo Pro. So they're gonna do some Ancient Gear shenanigans. They're gonna search box to search an Earth Machine monster. That's the only card I've read. And they're gonna go Bagooska Pass. At least it's not Howitzer Pass. For turn, we're gonna draw Deity Crow, which we're gonna pitch for Forbidden Droplet. So we're gonna summon the level 3 to Reborn, one from Grave, and use the guitar to get the mics out for the extra normal summon, required to kind of fully do the combo. Now, sadly, they put the monsters in defense, so we won't be able to do the loop, but we'll be fine. It's Ancient Gear. What could they possibly do? They're gonna use that, make a token, and oh shit. This showcases the average reading ability of an Ancient Gear player. The reading is a fundamental ability. And in the next replay here, we've got Tri-Brigade Lyrilusk, also known as Bird Up, popularized by Joseph Rothschild, also known as MBT. They're gonna start off with a Tanky, adding a Fractal to hand, which gets met by Droll by us. They're gonna send Fractal, to send Kit, to send Nerval. They all do the same thing pretty much. Then they're gonna banish for 3 and end on a Seamorg, which does absolutely nothing against our deck. This deck is built around wins because there's some Xenolock in the extra deck or in the Speedroid names. We're going to activate E-Tele here for the... Then we're going to go into Rubber Band Shooter, which allows us for an extra normal summon, which this deck really needs to even do the combo. We're going to tag out Tekatonburg for Car Turbo, then go into Freeze to add back a little Gusto from Grave. Then we're going to summon a Car Turbo from hand, go into another Freeze, it's not once per turn, to add another Gusto from Grave. The thing is, though, we're kind of out of floaters. That's kind of... I was considering running Avarice, but it's pointless, really. So that's not quite game, but we'll see what the opponent, how the opponent deals with this. So starting off, they're gonna start with Sapphire Swallow, summoning Nerval from hand and overlaying into Versatile Starling, searching Deity Crow, I think. Then they're gonna use Jack in the Box to draw themselves. I don't really understand why. Maybe to get another name in the grave, but the thing is, Droll isn't even a beast. They're gonna Monster Reborn Nerval, go to battle phase, forget about Freeze. You know, the thing with Bird Up, they can't really deal with Freeze. unless they've gone into the Shriek. They went into the first Shriek, but it's once per turn. I summoned the small one for turn, and that's game. Just clicking buttons does not win you the game, contrary to popular opinion. This is a bit of a shorter video than I'd actually like to make because getting replays for this shit is impossible. Even if you manage to do the win con, it's not very good, and it doesn't happen very often. And I tried playing on casual servers, and all people would do is just set one back row and pass. Like, there's a very specific scenarios where this combo actually goes off. When it goes off, it can cheese you a game, but overall it's not very good, and it's not very fun to play even. The actual win con of the deck is just hoping your opponent hasn't read the cards like you saw in these replays. So with that, this deck sucks. It's terrible, awful. Never play it. It's not even on a casual level is it fun.